emphasize that you just mentioned, the technology can be changed over time, and actually they can change very quickly as well. But anyway, the end game of the business is quite remain the same. Four things: reinvent the product, optimize the operating cost, which is our CFO love this word so much, and increasing the customer experience. And the last one that I think you point there, very good thing is about empower the employees. And you just remind me of the one word that we ever listened before, that if our employee is not happy, they cannot ever deliver the happiness to our customer. And I think that this is one thing that can give us the end game on that point as well. So thank you so much, Kun Ekalath. So the next question, I need to take us to the another side of the equation, because even when the infrastructure, the technology are available, I think the organizations still have to figure out how to actually use them. And AI give us probably the clearest example on the today as well on this use case. So for the Kun Vilaiporn, I think Microsoft has been working with many organizations across almost every industry on AI and the technology transformation. And I think something that we are seeing right now is that there are a lot of AI pilots, but there are far fewer of the AI transformation. So from what you're seeing today, what separate the organizations that are able to move AI beyond isolated experiments and pilot and actually scale it into sustainable business value?
Okay, thank you, Dr. Lisa. This question actually very near and dear to my heart, right? As executive in Microsoft, and in fact, in my prior life as a consultant, I spent every day working with clients across industry, across multiple organizations. It's actually quite a privilege, right, to be able to observe and help them with the adoption. So the most important lesson learned that I have is AI projects do not usually fail because of technology. They fail because organization treat it, like you said, Dr. Lisa, as a pilot, not as a transformation. Many companies right now are still at the stage of POC. They have lots of little small POC, several POC, and it just stopped right there. Some were able to actually scale from POC to production, and then from production, scale it across organization. But some, after they scale it, they stop, or some even stop entirely at POC. So I think, and the reason because they do not connect this with business priorities, there's no real ownership, data isn't ready, or there is no change management. So I think to respond to your question, organization that scale successfully because they do the following 5 things well, and these are consistent, the pattern that I've seen. So let me just touch on it one by one. The first is the successful organizations start with business outcomes. And in fact, every single panelist just now, from what I heard over the last 30 minutes, you all talk about outcome, right? Start with business outcome, start with problem, start with pain point. Don't start with solution first, right? And then do it the other way around. So the first thing, obviously, start with business outcome. So the question is obviously asked, where can I improve the revenue? Where can I improve productivity? Where can I improve customer or employee experience? How can I reduce risks? Or how can I improve operational efficiency? So always start with business outcome. Second thing, build a strong data foundation. I think AI is only as strong as the data, as strong as the context, and the system AI has access to. So organizations that scale AI successfully, they invest heavily on modern data platforms, invest in governance, and also invest in integrated business system. Because if your system don't talk to each other, it's quite hard for AI to be successful and to be as intelligent as it should be. So we have so many examples. I am not short of example where I think many organizations locally, regionally, globally, when they started AI, they learn about AI, they actually took a step back and then invest in modernize data platform, investing in the right governance, and the right security. So it's not always about AI model as well. I think one of the comments I want to mention, and people ask about what's the best AI model? And the response is there is no best AI model. The AI model can only be best for about maybe a day or 2 days. And then the next day, other more AI model will get better. So that's the world we're living in right now. So it's not about AI model. And in fact, some AI model are good for certain use cases, right? So you want to make sure that you use it for the right purposes, use it for the right use cases. Third thing I want to mention is you have to put governance in place. Security, compliance, responsible AI, risk management cannot be afterthoughts. Because when AI is embedded into core business processes, you need these to gain confidence, to be able to trust that AI will work effectively and securely. So organizations that move fast, scale fast, and often because they establish governance early, not after. They establish early because trust will become an accelerator. If not, then trust will become a constraint and people will stop using it. And they will feel bad about it, and then the whole project will collapse, right? That's time and time again. That's what I've seen. So I feel that especially with highly regulated organizations like financial services or telecommunication, and in fact, many, even though they're not regulated, it's very, very critical to ensure that strong governance will put in place to give leader confidence that when they scale AI, when they adopt AI beyond pilot, especially to mission critical operation system, it will work well. So that's my point number 3. The fourth one I want to mention is you have to create a repeatable operating model. It's not about tech alone. It's about operating model. How do you improve AI? How do you create a model where human and agent work together? How do you ensure everyone will know how to become agent boss? And I hope you already have agent working for you. So every one of us is actually an agent boss. So you need the right operating model. And typically this is done through AI COE or Center of Excellence. I also see an organization create AI factory just so they can produce AI and go beyond the pilot and move into production and scale it and capture business benefits as well. See what's the benefit that come from the AI. They will actually help with the right model, COE factory. This will help move beyond just one-time off use cases into a reusable platform, reusable patterns, and you can deploy fast and really capture the business benefits. And last thing I want to mention is leadership, very critical. Leadership must lead the change. You cannot, well, you can delegate many tasks, right? Except for delegating this, right? You can't rely and just leave it to head of AI alone or maybe CIO alone or CTO alone, and leadership just come in and join steering committee without even using it or looking at the benefit. So very, very critical to set a strong tone, to have a role model, because again, this should be treated as a business transformation agenda, not as an IT project, right? Not as just an experiment as well. So I think very, very critical. I have seen organizations that scale fast, not just adopt fast, you have to scale fast as well, because the CEOs, and in fact, the entire committee, or the one down from a CEO, they're totally on board. They sponsor the adoption. They actually sponsor the redesign of the work processes as well, and also help to unlock some of the challenges along the way. It's not going to come without challenges, right? This is totally new, but because leadership, because CEO, and in some instance, board even step in as well to help support. So if you've done this 5 things right, I think the adoption, the scaling, the business value will come. So just to summarize before I go back to Dr. Risa, first, start with business outcome. Second, build strong data foundation. Third, put governance in place early. Fourth, create a repeatable operating model. And finally, leadership must lead to change. Back to you, Ka.
Oh, thank you so much, Pifu. It's very, very clear, and I think you just shortened everything in the world into just these 5 practice points to me. Just recap again for everyone that listen to hear business outcome. You need to start with the business outcome first. You need to measure what the business value that we're going to get from there. Build a strong data platform. This is very good one because AI eat the data as the food. So if you don't have the modernized data platform, AI cannot work well. And the third one is a strong governance in place. Many organizations that we observe, they build things first, they move transformation first, and they come back at the governance, which sometimes is called nightmare to me. And the number four, create the right model that the people and the agent can work together. And last but not least, I love this one, Kun Vilaiporn, is the leadership. You just make me remind of one of the wording that transformation start with the culture, and the culture always go back to the top. So this is a five thing that very important, and I think most of the organization can bring it up to your company today and start building this journey. So I think we listen to everyone, and something interesting is emerging. We have talked about the policy, the talent, the startups, commercialized infrastructure, enterprise adoption. So I just want to finish with one question for everyone again, and I will ask each of you to keep this one very focused. If Asia wants to build a truly globally competitive technologies and innovation ecosystem, what is the one thing that you believe we need to accelerate first? And one more part to that, who needs to work together to make it happen? Government, private sector, university, investor, startup, all of that above thing. So let's go allow the panel again and start to the Dr. Siriporn again.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Lisa. If I had to choose only one priority, I would choose making sure technology reaches more businesses, more sectors, and more people. Because when technology is widely used, it can improve productivity and create more value across the economy. Asia already has many things we need: strong university, research institute, innovative companies, startup, large market, and growing technological capability. But the challenging is how we connect them. Good research may not reach the market. New technology may not reach businesses that need that, and many SME may not have the skill, funding, and support to adopt it. So for me, the priority is clear: build a stronger bridge between knowledge and real-world use. This means government should support the whole journey: research, prototyping, testing, demonstration, commercialization, adoption, scale up. And we also need to think differently about how we measure success. Not only the number of patent startup, not only how many new technology we create, but also how widely those technologies are used. Do they reach businesses and different sectors? Do they improve productivity, create better jobs and stronger industry? And ultimately, do they improve people's life? To make this happen, I think we need everyone that Dr. Lisa already said, to work together: university, research institute, working with industry and user from the beginning, understand real problem, developing research that can actually be used. Large company providing production capability and opportunity to test and scale new technology. Startup bringing new ideas, new solutions, and the ability to move quickly. SME, very important because they represent a large part of the economy. Wider technology adoption among SME can make a real difference to productivity. Government reducing leaks and filling gap. Share research, testing, facility, pilot project, standard, finance, public procurement, and also line regulation, supporting innovation while maintaining public trust. Investor and financial institution providing capital needed to move technology forward, not only at the early stage, but especially during demonstration and scale up, where many new technologies still struggle to get funding. And finally, users, they need to be involved early because they understand the real need, real constraint, and what will actually work in practice. And we should not stop at national border. Regional cooperation is also very important. Different Asian countries are good at different things. Some have strong research capability, others have talent, capital, or large market. So rather than trying to build everything within one country, we can connect these capability across region. Working together, Asia can achieve much more than country working alone. Thank you.
Thank you ค่ะ Thank you ค่ะ So move on to คุณอรนุช from Texas ค่ะ
ค่ะ if I have to select one important area based on technology ecosystem builder like a Texas, in my opinion, I think we should turn from the discussion of the collaboration to be like the real action, because we have seen many like forum or many stage that talking about the collaboration, but how can we turn it to be the real action? This is the most important. For example, like there are many ideas that talking about how can create an environment where our best talent who study abroad come back and contribute back to our country. And they don't need to physically come back, but actually they can contribute something back to our home country, maybe supporting our country to in terms of the helping the government or doing something that can help our country, because from their experience outside in maybe in United States or maybe in China or other country, I think that those kind of different experience can very important for us. And the second one is right now I think because of the startup in this region, they are facing many challenges in terms of the funding and capital. And to create like a long-term competitiveness, I think the most important thing is we need to focus more on the deep tech side. But the startup at the deep tech side, it is quite a challenge for them to survive because they don't have the capital to help them in part of the runway at the early stage. So we need to create more early stage investor willing to provide the capitals, and importantly the runway that deep tech companies need to develop their technology survive the early stage and reach the scale. Because if we focus more on the financial return at the early stage, it's quite hard for them to grow. And the last part, I think, for the talent, I believe that right now is quite a challenge for the university and research institute to catch up with the technology disruption, because there are many things that happen all around the world. So I think they should collaborate and work closely with the private sector, and how to maybe one of the highlight program we call CV, that give the opportunity for the student and work with them since they are at maybe like not just only like at the after they graduate or like last year, but they after they join the university, maybe first year they can also apply the job and study the real experience from the big corporate in parallel during study in the university too.
ขอบคุณค่ะ Thank you so much. So Michael, just want to hear from you.
Okay, I will be a bit more controversial here. I think one thing, if you ask me, I think it relates to what I call storytelling. I think what we should accelerate is to highlight, showcase whatever sector successes of innovation that has gone into market, successfully commercialized, feature them as champions, thought leaders, heroes, because that will encourage and tell the rest of people who wants to innovate that it is possible. The journey is not easy, it is tough, but it is possible. And I think if we can show this as a first step, as a platform that, in Asia, things happen and you can create opportunity and you can capture opportunity, you can create value for whatever sector you are in. I think that is something very powerful. It will encourage more people to jump on a wagon, even those who are sitting on the fence. If they see their competitor being successful, oh, they say, I will do it. And if they have not started on the AI journey, they saw someone else being successful, reduce their productivity, increase their productivity, sorry, not reduced. Then that becomes a very powerful message. Because at the end of the day, no matter what platform you put, if people are not convinced they can get the impact based on the return on investment that they are expecting, then I think it will not be successful. So if you ask me how we present this kind of what I call impact stories, in IPI, instead of success story, we call them impact stories, is to encourage people. If you get more of this coming up collectively, I think you create some kind of a buzz because it's real. Impact is real. You can generate revenue and that is, so if you ask me if that is one thing that if we can accelerate, show more success or impact story, there will be something very useful.
Thank you so much. That is another angle, Mike. Okay. คุณเอกราชค่ะ
Yeah, I think for me, actually it's opposite a bit, but I'm still super big belief in the new ecosystem, new collaboration that we have to build up. I mentioned about people, talent, technology, business, and also government. But if you ask me to pick and choose, probably the first one, the first step should be talent, from my view. So I think talent today, if you see the skill set of our people, the hard skill maybe not that the big issues, but the soft skill we have to increasing a lot, especially for the new generation that's coming up. Soft skill I mentioned about the analytical thinking, you talk about collaboration, leadership, all those things, right? It's going to be shaping our people that can creating more further innovations. So if I want to categorize the way that we should consider about talent, I think number one, we should migrating from learning to building. So let people can build, can create, to solve something, right? So I think from learning, it should be from the way that we are learning in the past, that's fine. But I think you should starting to be the building motion for them, right? So they can are very proud of, they have, the thing that they build up, that number one. I think from number two, from degree to the capabilities, that also is important because degree is valuable, that for sure. But actually the capability to do the things, to create the stuff, to make the change, that called capability of the people. We should, at least encouraging and make sure that it should be come up on that way. The third for me is about from the, I would say, classroom to the real world industry. So I think now we change, all right? From a few years back, we try to, make sure that our students understand and people can try and test. Even the people that work in the organization, if you go to the real world, you're going to see something different, right? So I think that should be the thing that we should encourage, from the office, from the classroom to the real world industry that you can touch and feel. And last for me, it should be from the individual talents that Thai people maybe were good at to be something like ecosystem talent. You work as a team in the broader visions, and creating something is not solve the small issues, but it's solve the problem that big enough for the industry and the country. So I think if we can build this from time to time, I think it's very first step that we can not about innovation alone, but it's going to be increasing, I would say, capability for the countries that we can move on, in the next level. That from my talk.
Okay, thank you ค่ะ and last but not least ค่ะ พี่วิไลพรค่ะ
Okay,ค่ะ. Privilege to be the last. I'm quite big on innovation. So if I had to choose one, I would think we have to build ability to turn adoption into innovation. Because without innovation, I think it's quite hard to survive these days where the world is so dynamic, right? Things change. If we stop reading for about, especially on my case, I'm in a tech firm. If I stop follow up for about half a day, things have moved past already. So that's how fast things operate these days. But how do we get to innovation where, at the level where we all, organization and national can survive? I think this is, I want to mention on 3 things, and particularly very important for Thailand, because I think we are going to get smaller and smaller because of the AI society. So I think we have to really use technology to our benefit to create innovation. So 3 points I want to leave with you. One is we have to build AI and digital talent at a national scale. I think many panelists also talk about talent and how critical this is. I think the biggest constraint for us is not about accessing technology, but whether people know how to use it, are able to use it productively and responsibly. So I think for us here, I think for Thailand, it doesn't mean you create more data scientists, but it should mean you're making AI literacy common and become just as common as digital literacy. Like university, school, students and all, they should learn. And an organization from CEOs to managers to frontline workers, students, teacher, public officer, they are going to be able to use AI. So to me, talent is a soft infrastructure. We all talk about hard infrastructure and digital infrastructure. This is soft infrastructure, and it's a national infrastructure that we should really look into. Second thing I want to mention, I think Kun Aruna talked about it, is a shared innovation platform between government and universities and startup and large enterprises who, have ability to invest. There's so many good ideas that are not get executed. Some of these ideas just get shut down. It just become idea, get presented, and just, I think people forget about it. So how do we ensure that, for example, startup have access to customer, university, we have ability to commercialize their great ideas and researchers, how enterprises, right, can actually adopt tech and be able to share their story as a lesson learned to government, to startup. So I think if you look at Thailand, we have such an innovation, and then we can create solution not just for us here in our market, but for ASEAN. Lack ideas. I think we have lots of ideas across everywhere, organization, ASEAN, and in Thailand as well. So the challenges is, how do we make it work? How do we really execute it? How do organizations and countries can win together by not just running hundreds of pilots, right? But really come together and take the best idea and deploy them across thousands of employees and customers and citizens. So I think to summarize my point, I'm a believer in innovation. I believe AI and technology can help. So we have to really first build talent as a national infrastructure. Second, build stronger bridge across the ecosystem. And then third, drive faster execution so we can turn pilot into scalability and production. Back to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So very good point for across all of you. Just to recap again, I think the number one, we're talking about build the bridge to bridge knowledge and the real world use case, that from Dr. Sriporn. The second point, how we're going to turn the discussion of the collaboration into the real actions from tech source, that maybe we're talking about create the early stage of the investor, develop the talent, how education sector can work closely with the private sector to create the talent into the market. The number 3 from Kun Michael, you're talking very soft side, but very powerful storytelling, the showcase of the innovation success. And you're right, the powerful message will create the encouragement. So that is the power of the possibility that we can show to all everyone. Number 4, we're talking about how to do the soft skill talent, learning to building, digi to the capability, the classroom to the real world industry, individual talent to the ecosystem talent, and the Number 5, we're talking about to build the ability to turn the adoption into the innovation. 3 things, build the AI talent capability in the nation scale, create the shared innovation platform across the key stakeholder. And the last thing, we're talking about how to move beyond POC and the experiment. So very good. And thank you so much for all of you here. I think today conversation tell us is that there probably is not one single ingredient that creates an innovation economy. We need the strong policy, we need the talent and the research, we need investor and the capital, we need a way to bring the good technology into the market. We also need the digital infrastructure, and we need organizations that know how to turn the technology into the real business value. But perhaps the most important word that we heard today is not about technology. We are talking a lot of things, but it's just one word to me, that it is the ecosystem. And because the next generation of the innovation will probably not be won by the organization or even the country that owns the more technology, but it will be won by those that are best able to connect capabilities, connect the people, and connect the partner, and turn those connections into the value. So for today, I'd like to thank all of our panelists for sharing your perspective today. And thank you everyone for joining us today. And thank you and enjoy for the rest of the day. Thank you so much.
ขอบคุณครับ
ขอบคุณค่ะ
ขอบคุณค่ะ
Thank you very much to Dr. ศิริพร พิทยโสพล คุณอรนุช เลิศสุวรรณกิจ Mr. Michael Go คุณเอกราช ปัญจวีนินทร์ คุณวิไลพร ทวีราภพันทอง และดร. ริษา พัฒวิวัฒน์ศิรินะคะ to sharing today ขอบคุณค่ะ และงาน ASEAN Business Forum วันนี้นะคะของเราเดินทางมาถึงช่วงสุดท้ายแล้วนะคะก่อนจบการถ่ายทอดสด TMA ขอความกรุณาทุกท่านสแกน QR Code ประเมินผลให้กับทาง TMA เพื่อที่จะเราได้นำไปพัฒนาต่อในปีถัดไปนะคะ QR Code จะปรากฏหน้าจอนะคะข้อมูลของทุกท่านจะนำไปเป็นการพัฒนาเป็นข้อมูลสำคัญที่ช่วยให้ TMA ได้พัฒนาการจัดงานและเนื้อหาต่อไปนะคะสำหรับการจัดงานในวันนี้ตลอดทั้ง2วันในนามของ TMA ค่ะขอบพระคุณวิทยากรผู้ดำเนินการอภิปรายและผู้เข้าร่วมงานทุกท่านที่ร่วมเป็นส่วนหนึ่งของงาน Asia Forum 2026 นี้ทั้ง2วันนะคะและท้ายสุดนี้จะขาดไม่ได้ต้องขอบพระคุณผู้สนับสนุนการจัดงานของเราค่ะ Strategic Partner สำนักงานส่งเสริมการจัดประชุมและนิทรรศการองค์การมหาชนและผู้สนับสนุนหลักนะคะธนาคารกรุงเทพจำกัดมหาชนธนาคารกสิกรไทยจำกัดมหาชนบริษัท SCBX จำกัดมหาชนกลุ่ม BJC Big C SCGบริษัทไทยเบเวอเรจจำกัดมหาชนบริษัทบางจากคอร์ปอเรชั่นจำกัดมหาชนบริษัทอินโดรามาเวนเจอร์จำกัดธนาคารกรุงไทยจำกัดมหาชนบริษัทปตท.สำรวจและผลิตปิโตรเลียมจำกัดมหาชนบริษัท SCG JWD Logistics จำกัดมหาชนและขอบพระคุณ Media Partner นะคะ TNN 2ID และ 2 Digital Academy สุดท้ายนี้ขอบพระคุณทุกท่านที่ติดตามรับชมและร่วมเป็นส่วนหนึ่งของ Asia Forum 2026 นี้นะคะตลอดทั้ง2วันแล้วหวังว่าจะได้พบกันใหม่ในโอกาสหน้าวันนี้ลาไปก่อนสวัสดีค่ะ
ไมซ์มิติใหม่สร้างมูลค่าเศรษฐกิจไทยด้วยโอกาสทางธุรกิจอันไร้ขีดจำกัดนวัตกรรมและเอกลักษณ์แห่งความเป็นไทยพร้อมการสนับสนุนจากนโยบายภาครัฐที่ช่วยเสริมศักยภาพให้ทุกธุรกิจสำเร็จได้อย่างไร้รอยต่อทุกโอกาสล้วนเป็นไปได้ที่ประเทศไทยด้วยทำเลที่ตั้งกลางภูมิภาคอาเซียนระบบโครงสร้างพื้นฐานและคมนาคมขนส่ง รองรับอุตสาหกรรมเป้าหมายที่เติบโตอย่างไม่หยุดยั้งสำนักงานส่งเสริมการจัดประชุมและนิทรรศการองค์การมหาชนหรือ TCEP พร้อมเป็นคู่คิดทางธุรกิจที่เชื่อมต่อเครือข่ายพันธมิตรในทุกความต้องการพร้อมอำนวยความสะดวกและให้คำปรึกษาเพื่อประเทศไทยไม่เพียงแต่เป็นจุดหมายปลายทางของการจัดงาน Amidst ที่สร้างมูลค่าเพิ่มให้แก่ธุรกิจของคุณแต่ยังเป็นศูนย์รวมของทุกไอเดียสร้างสรรค์ความเป็นมืออาชีพและการบริการของคนไทยวัฒนธรรมไทยอันเป็นเอกลักษณ์ที่งดงามล้วนสร้างสีสันและความประทับใจให้ทุกการจัดงาน Amidst TCEP พร้อมเป็นพันธมิตรเพื่อนคู่คิดธุรกิจ Amidst เชื่อมคุณสู่ความสำเร็จระดับโลกเพื่ออนาคตทางธุรกิจที่สดใสยกระดับการจัดงาน Amidst ของคุณสู่ความสำเร็จไปพร้อมกับเราสำนักงานส่งเสริมการจัดประชุมและนิทรรศการองค์การมหาชนหรือ TCEP
โลกใบเดิมแต่เราเลือกที่จะอัพมุมมองใหม่ให้ต่างออกไปเริ่มจากอัพสไตล์ให้หลุดกรอบให้ทุกสเปซเป็นรันเวย์ของการสร้างสรรค์ตัวตนออกจากเส้นทางเดิมๆไปอัพความมหัศจรรย์ที่ซ่อนอยู่
และเมื่อถึงเวลาก็พร้อมออกไปพิชิตเพื่ออัพมุมมองใหม่ให้เป็นหนึ่งเดียวกับธรรมชาติให้ทุกๆการพักผ่อนถูกอัพเป็นรางวัลชีวิตพาเราไปสัมผัสรสชาติของวัฒนธรรมอัพพลังไปข้างหน้าในทุกจังหวะของการก้าวเดินให้กลายเป็นแรงบันดาลใจที่ไม่มีวันจบบัตรเครดิต AirAsia Platinum Mastercard ธนาคารกรุงเทพอัพทุกทริปให้ชีวิตสมาร์ทกว่าที่เคยวันนี้ถึง31 กรกฎาคม 70
คนไทยกำลังโดนโกงเงินทุกวันสูงถึง 25,000 ล้านบาทผู้คนทั้งประเทศกำลังโดนโกงจนเข้าขั้นวิกฤตต่อไปนี้เราจะช่วยให้ประชาชนตระหนักรู้เท่าทันและป้องกันภัยจากมิจฉาชีพ ACSC ศูนย์ต่อต้านการฉ้อโกงออนไลน์ไทยรัฐกรุ๊ปสื่อสะท้อนความจริงยืนหยัดเคียงข้างคนไทยLINE แพลตฟอร์มการสื่อสารระดับประเทศ K-Bank ผู้นำนวัตกรรมทางด้านการเงินพวกเราขอผนึกกำลังเสริมความรู้เติมสติให้คนไทยก้าวนำภัยมิจฉาชีพสติไฟเตอร์รู้ทันป้องกันโกง
The energy crisis is real, and we thought it could be a temporary crisis, but it seems like this is going to prolong for a very long time.
We have to diversify. You're going to see this structural change happening. Cheap and secure energy is foundation for any industry. If you don't have competitive energy, your industry will be a big problem. Energy security, competitiveness, sustainability, we could achieve at the same time. Bio is the strength of ASEAN. Solar and wind is also the strength of ASEAN. Government should invest in upgrading the national grid. Energy security and energy price is number one priorities. We need to improve competitiveness. From now on, we are design production facility based on ASEAN. Put the automation in, robotics, AI, improve the efficiency, and at the same time, you reduce the energy, create a competitiveness. Low carbon cement can be as strong as or even stronger than the open Portland cement, and the price is similar. This is going to be a change that will have a lasting effect for the next 10 to 20 years.
Okay. To make it really happen, we have to getting into the detail. Technology is already available. So basically make a use case, make a business case, and then roll out the implementation quickly. We will take advantage of this situation. So you could see that the payback can be very quick.
ในสนามดริฟต์เครื่องยนต์ถูกรีดสมรรถนะจนเกินขีดจำกัดจึงต้องมีเกราะนิรภัยปกป้องขั้นสุดปานจาก Furio น้ำมันหล่อลื่นเกรดพรีเมียมที่มีเทคโนโลยี Rest Complex โมเลกุลอัจฉริยะยึดเกาะทุกอนูเสมือนเกราะ2ชั้น พร้อมสารเพิ่มคุณภาพพรีเมียมเทคโนโลยีจากอเมริกาการันตีด้วยมาตรฐานระดับโลก API ขั้นสูงสุด Furio ช่วยปกป้องขีดสุดไปได้สุดทุกการขับขี่
บริษัทปตท.สำรวจและผลิตปิโตรเลียมจำกัดมหาชนหรือปตท.สผ.บริษัทคนไทยที่มุ่งมั่นสำรวจและผลิตพลังงานจากแหล่งก๊าซธรรมชาติและน้ำมันดิบมากกว่า3ทศวรรษภายใต้กรอบแนวคิดด้านความยั่งยืนเราสำรวจความมุ่งมั่นผลิตความเชี่ยวชาญเราสำรวจโอกาสผลิตธุรกิจที่ถูกต้องโปร่งใสเราสำรวจความสุขผลิตคุณภาพชีวิตทั้งหมดนี้เพื่อสร้างคุณค่าอย่างยั่งยืนกับผู้มีส่วนได้ส่วนเสียทุกฝ่ายภายใต้วิสัยทัศน์ Energy Partner of Choice เพราะความมั่นคงด้านพลังงานคือจุดเริ่มต้นในการขับเคลื่อนของทุกชีวิตเราจะก้าวต่อไปด้วยกันเพื่อพลังงานที่ยั่งยืนปตท.สผ. Energy Partner of Choice